So we discussed that SQL stands for structured query language, isn't it? We also discussed that SQL is nothing but a structured query language which helps you to manipulate, store, retrieve your data, which is there present in the relational database. SQL is a standard language which can help you access the relational database systems, right? We discussed that there are a lot of database management systems like MySQL, MS Access, Oracle, SQL Server and all. They all use SQL as a standard database language. So we discussed SQL is one of those powerful languages. And then we tried to relate a database with a big building, and the big building has got flats. Similarly, this big database that I have will have small houses, right? Small tables. So the building represents the database and the flats will represent the small tables which are stored. So let's say I had a database for the entire company, and in that database for the company, I had some tables, table for the employee, table for the different designations that we store. These are some different tables that we have. Now, when I talk about a database has some tables. Those tables have fields and columns. Fields or columns is the same thing, and the rows and records. So if you remember, this is the slide we covered yesterday. We looked into what is a table, fields, column, rows and records. We then moved on to the next concept in which we discussed how the SQL query is processed. SQL query is fed into the query language processor, and through the DBMS engine, it helps you get the information. Now, the data, database, RDBMS, SQL, these are some other terminologies that we have discussed yesterday. And I have very quickly yesterday introduced you to the different windows. So this window, for example, is called as Object Explorer. This one is called as the Result tab, where the entire information will be stored. And this is basically the place where you will be writing your SQL query, right? So all these things we have discussed. And we then looked into the different categories of the SQL statements. They are classified into DDL, DML, DQL, DCL, TCL. And very cleverly, this whole structure has been classified under different definitions. So under the DDL, I have got a create, alter, drop statement. Under the DML, I have got insert, update, and delete statement. Under the DQL, I have got the select, and under the DCL, I have got the grant or revoke, right? So slowly, what we have to do, look into these statements. So for example, let's say this is the table which I have got. If I wanted to select the records from this particular database or the table, I'm going to use a query for the select. If I want to add some data, I would use the query insert. If I wanted to delete, let's say, details of Hardik, so I'm going to use the delete command. And let's say if I wanted to update the age for Killen, what I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly update it. So these are some operations that you perform on the tables which are there within the database. Some queries, create statement query. We discussed this yesterday as well. We discussed how we can insert the record, how you can select from the tables, and also the update. Now, the very important thing over here is in terms of your queries that you write down, these are also called as CRUD operations. So create, remove, update, and delete, right? So CRUD operations are very, very important, and we need to make sure that we have understood them also correctly. Another very important thing is the different data types that we have. Now, in the RDBMS concepts, there are different data types which have been classified. We've got some data types for numeric data. We can have the data type for the characters, right? We can have the data type for the date and the time. So you can see this, and plus some miscellaneous data types. So based on what kind of data you are going to store, whether it is time or whether it is an integer or decimal, money, based on that, you can select the data type and give it to your columns. So this was one of the assignments that was given to you yesterday, where we had to create a database demo. We had to create a table, right? And that table had some column names like EID, name, address, city, DOB, phone, email. And finally, we had to add 10 records in the table and use select query to select the output. Okay. I'm reading through the chat. Is there anyone who faced any problem in this assignment? How many of us have written this? Can you share the queries? What queries did you write to achieve this? Some of us are saying not audible. Is my voice not coming, guys? You're not able to hear me well? Nidu, Subhangi, ma'am, your voice is not clear. Can you all hear me well? Audible. Okay, so guys, most of them are saying audible. Can you please quickly check once? Just check once. Okay, so very good, Kalarani. That is the first query that you have written. What else? How many of you finished this assignment? It's okay, Akinmuda, if you could not install SQL Server, go for online editor. You can have a look at it, no problem. You can use that editor. Okay, not a problem. Now, in this assignment that we had to solve, we first had to create a database, right? So what is the operation? What is the query that you have written? Can you all send it to me? What is the query which all of you have written? Create database. Okay, so create database is the query number 1. Very good. And then we have to create a table. So what you will do? Create, very good, create database demo. Good. And then what was the next query? The next query we had to create a table. So we said create table and give the name of the table and put the fields there. What all are the fields? EID, name, address, city, DOB, phone, email ID, isn't it? These are the different columns that you have given. And then what you had to do, you had to use a query which is very good, Musham, insert into. So you will say insert into table name, and then you can give the records. Employee ID, for example, Eve001. Employee name, let's say Nilima, right? Address, Bangalore. City, DOB, phone, email address, whatever values are there, we could have given it. Right? That is how this assignment had to be solved. So now you know how a database can be created, how a table can be created, how you can add the data, right? And most important, how do you select the commands? How do you select the values? All right, this is all what we have done till now. Then I also walked you through how we could install the SQL Server. So you can follow this slide. Now, sometimes when you are doing operations on the databases, there are some clauses that you have. You might not to select all the records. So let's say you had 50 million records in one database, but you don't want to access everything. Let's say you had a database which had huge amount of records. So this box in front of you is representing a database, right? And this database had huge amount of records. And you do not want to select everything and retrieve everything. You don't want to do that. You want to only get some selected information. So for example, I had a database of 50 million students, but I wanted to fetch the details of the students who are based out of Bangalore. So what my query would be? Select star. A star word means that you want to select everything, all the details of those students from the table name. The clause that you can use here is where, right? So what is going to be the query syntax in this case? The query syntax will be select, give the column names, what you want to select from, give the name of the table, where, and where after the where you can put the condition. Right? This is the where clause. So the next kind of clause that we've got is a like clause. Sometimes when you want to fetch the names of students who are, let's say, starting with A or AB, right? Or select the place which is starting from BA. Select the country, which is like. So you can use a like expression, like clause here in order to get the relevant values. So what you would do in this case, you can use like clause by saying select star from table name, and immediately after that, what you can do, you can use the like clause. So the another clauses that we have, one is where, the other is like. Then you've also got the top clause, top number, percent or column from the table where this condition. So it will give you the top values. Okay. Update. Now the next kind of statement that we have is the update statement. In the update statement, we use update table name, and because we are updating, we need to give the value. What exactly you want to update, what column you want to update, right? So you will say, yes, very good, Gunagri, you will update the data, right? So update, give the table name, set what? Column 1 is equal to value 1. This is my value 1. Column 2 should be value 2. Column n should be value n. These are just some values that you are giving, and then there is a where condition here. All right, is that all clear, guys? Okay, why do we use set in the clause? Why we are using set? So very good question. See, for example, this is my table, and in this table I have got a one column which is age, right? One column is there which is age. The age of the person was 25, but let's say it was user's birthday. He's incremented the age now from 25 to 26. So what will be your query? You would say update. What is the table name? Give the table name. Set what? Age. So this set is basically used in conjunction with update. So you will update this table, set this column age to what value? 26, right? Something like this. So set is kind of a keyword which helps you to operate. And what is a keyword? Some reserved words which the languages keeps for itself, right? Which has some specific meaning. All right, predefined. Very good. Predefined is the word. Okay. We then have a delete statement. Let's say I wanted to delete from the table. So I could say delete from, give the table name where this is the condition, right? These are how different statements can be used. Any questions with this? All good? Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a scenario in which you will be all working on a table, right? And make sure that you've understood this. So what we are going to do over here, we will try this assignment. So I understand many of you don't have the database setup done. So maybe you can do it on the notebook. Basically, we have to first create the database demo. We already created the database demo. You can either use that. You have to create a table called as EMP_salary, which has got EID, department, DOG, salary. These are the different things that you will put. Then what we are going to do together, we will insert 7 records. We will use the select command to view the records. And finally, from the table that you have, we want the employees with the last name as Sharma and increase the salary of the managers by 10%. Okay, this is what we wanted to do. Take 5 minutes, think what we will be doing. Can you all send me in one message? Can you send me all the queries that you will be writing in order to achieve this? Don't worry about doing it right on the editor or the database. You can just directly making sure you've understood the queries concept, right? To satisfy this condition, can you quickly work for 5 minutes, and give me the answers? What will be the queries? Okay, let's get started. So what is going to be the very first query? You can send it in the chat. What will be the very first query? Create database demo. Very good, Rosemary. Very well done. Now the next query is to create the table. First you make a database, then you make a table. So what is the query? Okay, but what will be the exact query? Most of you is writing create table. What is the exact query? Very good, Venkatesh. Create table and give the name of the table, right? And how about adding the columns? Nobody is adding the columns in the table. Can you give me the full query rather than just writing create table? Can you give me the full query so that it adds the employee ID, department? Create table EMP cell. Okay. So create table EMP. Very good. Kunal, very well done. Create table. Give the name of the table. Column 1, data type, column 2. So I'm going to say create table EMP cell. Column 1 is what? Column 1 is EID. What is the EID? It is integer number. So you will take the data type int. Similarly, department, this is a string. So you can take it. Date of joining is a date. Salary is a float number. So you can take it accordingly. Yes. So the exact query will be create table employee. Employee ID is number. Employee name is varchar2. Yesterday we discussed char and varchar2. And finally, my salary, I can take it as a number. If you want to take it as a decimal 7, 2 or any other number. And finally, department, varchar2, right? This is how these queries can be created. So by now, everybody knows how we can create the database, create the table. Now, what is the next step? Very good, guys. I can see a lot of queries. Good, this is correct. Now, what is the next step? Next step is I have to add the values in the table. How can I add the values in the table? Insert query. Yes. So can you all take a minute's time and write the full query and give it to me? Not just insert into, no. I want the full query. Let me see who can answer this very well. Full insert query I want. Insert into employee. Good, that is the table. Insert into the table EMP cell. Okay, what else? Then you will give values. Values is the keyword again. And what all things you wanted to put, right? So insert into EMP cell, values, give the employee ID that you want to add, department that you wanted to add, date of joining you want to add, and the salary. Right? These are the different things that you can add. Perfect. Good. So now this query you will fire how many times? 10 times with the different values. Very good, guys. Insert into query. Everybody's comfortable. I can see. Good. We can move to the next. So your 7, if you wanted to add 7 appropriate records, what you are going to do? You will write this query 7 times, isn't it? So insert 7 appropriate records. Now, what is the next thing you want to do? You want to select. You want to see all the records that you have entered in this table. Can anybody tell me what is the query? What will be the select query to read all the records we have added? Excellent, Rohit. Select star from EMP cell. Shubha, very good. Rohit, Dinesh, Raj, very good. One thing that we all forgot, what while creating this table? Yes, columns that you have, one column which you think is kind of a primary key, the very important value for you, right? Primary key. So then the primary key is basically the unique key that you give. All right, is that clear? Great. Now, the next thing is what I wanted to do. I wanted to increase the salary of all the managers by 10%. How can I do this? Think. You have 5 minutes of time. Think and give me the right query. Insert the salary of all managers by 10%. Good. Update EMP salary, set salary is equal to. Great. I can see a lot of chats. That is good. So let us bring up one of the answers quickly and see. So here in this case, I wanted to update the value, right? Because I wanted to update or increase the salary, I can use this query. Let me just bring this up in a different format. So update the employees, set the salary. How much? Salary plus salary multiply with 10 by 100, where salary is greater than 12,000. This is how the salary can be added. So you can use alter table, you can use update, different commands you can use in order to achieve. So what are we trying to look at? We are trying to understand how different queries can be fired onto the backend or the database in order to achieve the different things. Okay, I hope it's all clear. Any questions? You can ask me questions from this assignment if there are any questions. Okay, so update is the command which will help you to update the salary, increase the salary. Okay, the next thing that we want to look into is what are the different operators in SQL. And operators is a generic term. You know, we need to understand what is the main benefit of operator, what does an operator do. So what very quickly we are going to understand what is an operator. In a very simple way, what I'm going to write down, I'm going to write down one line and then explain you what this operators and what does the operators do. So I've written here a line, 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. The terminology is this 2 and 3 are called as operands. Operands means something on which you are doing an operation. So operands. This 5 over here is the result, right? This is the result. And this whole thing from the left-hand side to the right-hand side is called as an expression. You can take a note of all these terms, be it any programming language, be it Python, Java, or SQL, or any language which you pick up, this terminology is consistent. So we have operands, we have operator, we have expressions and result. And then this plus is called as an operator, right? So operator, operands, expression, and result. Now, when we talk about operators, there are different types of operators which are there in SQL, which helps you to do some operations. So let's look at what is an operator first. Operator is something which is a reserved word, a character, which is used to do some calculations, computations, comparisons for you, right? When we talk about operators, they are used to specify some conditions in the SQL statement, right? Now, this slide shows you the different type of operators that we have. Have a look at it. If you want to write down, please quickly write them down. Arithmetic, comparison, logical, and other operators. Okay. Beautiful. So I'm getting some chats. I'm going to the chat and I'm able to read different people are different talking about the different ways the operators are written. Yes, the logical operators, Pranali, very good. Raj Chauhan, good job. Great. If else if is not a kind of an exact operator, Musham, that is a condition. Okay. Something which combines variables or operands. Good job, Jampana. Pranali, there are some special words. Great. Good job. Logical, special, in. So some arithmetic. So when I talk about the operators, these are the different classifications. We have got arithmetic operators, so addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. And this operator is called as the modulus operator. How many of you have heard about modulus operator? Modulus operator. Have you heard about modulus? Anyone? Can you explain what it does? Yes, the percentage kind of an operator. But what does it do? What is the benefit? It gives remainder. Yes, Champana, very good. Kunigri, very good. When I divide two numbers, when I say 5 divided by 2, what do I get? I get quotient, right? But let's say if I wanted to see what is left if I divide two numbers, or I wanted to find the remainder, I'm going to use a modulus operator. The next type of operator is the comparison operator, which helps you to compare whether the value on the left hand side and the right hand side is equal, less than, greater than, not equal to, or not equal to, greater. So these are the different comparison operators, and all comparison operators gives you a value either true or false. When I say true, true means if left hand side and right hand side are okay, good, it will give true. If they are not okay, it will give false. So comparison operators. We have arithmetic operators, we have comparison operators. The third kind of operator that we have is called as the logical operators. Now, what is a logical operators? Anyone used it before? Do you have an idea? What does a logical operator do? Combines the conditions, yes, and or not. These are logical operators. So let's say if I had a condition where I had a number which is A, that was 1, B is 2, and I wanted to check if both the values of A and 1 are correct. So what condition I'm going to do? A is equal to 1 and B is equal to 2. So if A is 1 and B is 2, for any AND operation, both the conditions on the left and the right hand side should be all equal. And what is an OR? OR, on the other hand, does little bit differently. It works differently. OR means either of the conditions on the left on the right hand side is equal. It will be okay. It will ask. It will take you forward, right? So AND or OR. AND means both the conditions should be true. OR means either of the conditions should be true. And or ought. And what does not? What does the not do? Not is just opposite. So, if your expression was giving you something which is true and you put not before it, it will give you the false. Okay. Opposite. Very good. Inverse is not. Yes. Great. Now, along with these operators, there are other operators like between. I wanted to fetch the records from the database of the age of the people or of the students whose age is lying in between 20 to 40 or 20 to 30. I will use between. It gives us some range. I got one more thing which is called as in. What is going to be the in? In is basically checking the value, whether the value is present. Like, on the other hand, will check whether the expression exactly matches to what you have given on the right hand side of like. Then you have is null, will check whether the value is null or not. Distinct means you need different values, and exist, whether the value actually exists. So these are the different types of operators which we will be using in SQL. Any questions till now? Anything that you want to ask on the operators? Is that all clear? Okay, let me just quickly go to the chat and try to read as many as I can in short duration of time. You can ask me, guys, any problems in your mind that you have. Let me just open chat. Normalization, yes, we are going to start now. Example of a primary key. Let's look at example of a primary key. So Vijay and some other people also asked this question. Let's quickly understand. Now, when I talk about primary key, it is a unique key, which cannot be duplicated. So let's say I had got this database with me, this table or database with me. And this is basically a table which stores the student details, the student ID, the student name, student address, students' marks. So these are the different things which this stores. And because it is storing all these different details, there is one primary key which I can assign to one of the columns. And that primary key, that column I can call is employee ID. Whenever you are making a primary key, think what column is actually unique in this, right? Can name be unique? No, name cannot be unique. No, we can have multiple people with name Vijay. Can the location of the person be kind of what you call? Can it be unique? No. Age? No. But employee ID is one thing which is unique. Similarly, for a student table, the student name, age, the degree, marks, this is again not a unique value. But what can be a unique value? Student ID. So that student ID is nothing but your primary key. Okay, is that clear? Vijay, did that make sense? Are you okay? Venkatesh, operators are basically something which helps you to perform some operations, right? It could be addition, subtraction. It could be some operators which helps us to do some computations. Okay. Any other questions? No questions. Okay. Student enrollment number is yes, one of the answers. Okay. Any other question, guys, you want to ask me? Okay. Let us move on to the next concept, and we are going to talk in brief about what is normalization. Right? What exactly normalization? It's treated as one of the very important terms. So let's quickly have a look at it. So what is normalization? It's nothing but a process which guides you how you should put your data, how you should organize your data in the database. Whenever we talk about normalization, it helps you to minimize the redundancy. It could be a redundancy from a relation or a set of relations. It is used to eliminate any undesirable characteristics, right? So the main idea of using the normalization is it helps to a very big, large table into smaller table and links them using some relationships, right? So the normal form is used to reduce the redundancy from the database table. That is what we talk about normalization. And then there are different normal forms that we have within the normalization. 1NF, 2NF, right? Then we've got 3NF, 4NF, 5NF. So 5NFs tak we can go in terms of the normalizations. Okay. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about how normalization works. So database normalization is a process of efficiently organizing the data in the database. It is some set of rules, guidelines, statements that we follow while storing the data, right? And why do you want to do normalization? To remove any redundant data, right? Or any information which you don't want, you can use the normalization process. Now, there are different forms of normalization. Let us look at the first form, the normalization form, which is 1NF. Okay. Now, what does the 1NF means? It says you define the data items, look at the data to be stored, organize, and then put the data into columns. You then define what kind of data each column will have. And once you have decided everything, put the related columns in their own tables, right? So the whole idea is your information should not be repeating again and again, right? It should not be there in multiple tables. So ensure that there is a primary key. This is one of the first normalization form. Any example that comes to your mind? Any example? So for example, something which comes to my mind is a table. Let's say it has a record data on a book, right? And there are some authors, and that table has book ID, author 1, author 2, author 3. This is not in 1NF. Why? Because author 1, author 2, author 3 are all repeating the same attribute, right? So very important, with 1NF, make sure nothing gets repeated, right? Similarly, there is one more type of normalization form, which is 2NF. It means it should meet all the whatever rules I showed you in the previous slide. It should meet it. And it means that there should not be any partial dependencies of any of the columns on the primary key. This is the 2NF, not no partial dependencies. That is the whole idea. Okay. The next form is the third normal form. Now, third normal form says it should inherit all the normalizations from the previous. So 1NF, 2NF, and move to the 3NF. 3NF will follow all the normalization. So it should meet all the rules of 2NF, and tables also should be in some relationship. Yes, good, Manish. Combination of 1NF and 2NF. So these are some normalizations, and any database you create, any table you create, any information that you make, they work with some constraints. Now, what are those constraints? Let us quite quickly understand what does that constraint means. In the case of nothing, some rules which are enforced on the data column of the table, some rules which have to be followed. What are those different rules? The first rule is the primary key, unique constraint. The third is not null constraint. We have got default constraint, foreign key. So these are different constraints we actually work with. Okay, I can see some messages on voice is not is breaking. How many of you is the voice breaking? Can you just confirm once? How many of you can hear me well? Let me know once. Check the internet on your side also once. Can anybody let me know is the voice is okay? Okay, I'm getting mixed input. Some of you are saying the voice is breaking. Some of you are saying it's all clear. Okay, all those who are saying the voice is not clear, just check your internet connection once. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about the SQL constraints. And even before we talk about SQL constraints, let's look at what all are the SQL constraints. So as I was explaining, we've got primary key, unique constraint, not null constraint, default, and foreign key. We'll work on the constraints together. So I will give you a scenario, for example, on a primary key, and you need to explain how you can meet the constraint or how you can write the constraint. Okay, let's have a look at it. So the very first constraint is the primary key. What I wanted to do is, I want all of you to listen to a scenario and put a key constraint on that scenario. Okay, are we all ready? How many of you want to write this? Primary key constraint on a particular table. You're ready? Yes, ready? Okay. So listen to the scenario very carefully. I wanted to create a database. And within the database, there is a table. This database maintains all the products which the customer buys. So it's something similar. All the products which the customer chooses and buys. In this particular database, there is a table. The name of the table is orders. Columns, let's say, ID, date, when was the order, customer ID. What I want to do is create a table with you can take any 5 column names, create a table and put a primary constraint order ID. And if you think you are comfortable with it, you've written this query correctly, do one thing, send this in the chat. Okay, work on it. Okay, let me just one thing on the safer side because the voice breaking. So I'm just quickly going to change my internet. Give me 1 second. All right, can you hear me well now? Is my voice coming okay? Just check once. Is it better? Okay, better now. Yes, I'll just continue to say something. Just see if it is clear. Now it's clear. Okay, thank you for letting me know, guys. Apologies for the inconvenience. So do one thing, create a table. The name of the table is orders. And what I want you to do is add a primary key constraint on this table. Okay, let me put down the things here as well. You can choose any 5 columns. And the constraint that we want to apply is primary key. Once you've done this, please send the query in the chat. So what will be the query? How do we put the primary key query? Primary key constraint. Let me quickly show it to you. And we'll take when we take a break around 8 o'clock, when we come back, we'll do some practice on these queries as well. Okay. So for example, I've got this table. I wanted to create a table customers. Customers, order, whatever name you have taken for now is good. And you've given here ID, which is the column name. Name, which is column name. Age, address, salary. These are all column names. All these column names have got the data types. One data type is int. Int means it will only be integer, whole numbers. Varchar means variable character type. Now that means we have given 20 here. It can change. If you give char, we discussed yesterday, char and varchar. Varchar is variable, you can give. And here what I've given another constraint which says not null. Not null means this is mandatory. Age, not null. Address is a character value. Salary is a decimal, 18 digits with dot, 2 decimals after dot. Primary key, which is the ID. So this is how what I have put a constraint that my ID is going to be primary key, because I know that the name, age, address, salary, all of these can duplicate, can be same, but ID is not going to be the same. So primary key ID, right? Now, most of you have done this in this way. Some of you have done it in a different way, different queries you have applied. That this is what it does. Ananya, explain not null. So Ananya, if you put not null in front of a particular column, that means this field cannot be left blank. You definitely have to put some data inside this, right? Ananya, when you fill your school, college or university or your office form, you know, there are some columns which are mandatory, right, Ananya? And those columns you have to fill. So if you don't fill it, what does the front end give you? What does the UI gives you? An error. Because that is a mandatory field. That same mandatory field check has been applied on the database also. That on the database side also, you should not leave it blank. You should put it. Not null means this cannot be empty. I hope that is clear. Very good, Manish. Like Google Forms, there are some symbols, right? Asha Ashu, primary key. Primary key, Asha Ashu, is a unique key, unique number that you something which is unique, which cannot duplicate. For example, the name of all the students is not primary key. Names can vary, right? But the student ID, Asha Ashu, is unique, right? Aadhaar card number, yes, that is very good, Rohit. Great. So unique, not something which will not be, which should not be kind of duplicated. Okay, so now let us look at this not null constraint. This is another example. I've got a table sales in which I've got not null, not null, not null constraints, right? And if you want to alter, this is the syntax. Create table sales, ID is integer type, not null. Employee ID is varchar20, not null. Age is int, not null. Address is character type. Salary is the decimal. Not null constraint. We then have the next constraint, which is default. So default constraint will give a default value. So let's say if the user gives the value, it will take it. If the user hasn't given any value, if you don't give the value, it will take a default value. Look at this slide in front of you. Which column do you think has got the default constraint? Have a look at it. Observe this. This is the area which you should be looking into. Which column has the default constraint? Can you please write it in the chat? Address is not the answer, Nusham. See again, what constraint has this? What column has this default constraint? Very good. The salary. Because why am I saying so confidently? Because see, salary, decimal, default constraint. If you give the value of salary, it will take that. If you put the value 10,000, 3,000, 7,000, you put that, it will take it. If you don't put that, it will take a by default value 5,000. That is how a default constraint works. Okay, sorted and clear. Default constraint. Brilliant. Let's move to the next constraint. Some of you were even asking me, ma'am, what is unique constraint? Okay, see, there are some questions, primary and unique constraint. So we are going to look into it now. Okay. When I talk about a unique constraint, it provides a unique value to the column. I want all of you to observe this table creation that I'm doing, and then I'll explain it to you. Yeah. So what I'm applying here, a unique constraint. But we discussed that in a table where we have got student numbers, even student numbers are unique. We discussed that, right? So this is confusing, isn't it? It's not. I'll explain it to you in a quick way. The difference between your primary key and a unique key is that Primary key will never accept the null values. Primary key will never, there will be no employee in the company without employee ID, isn't it? That is the first thing you get. Right, Venkata, you are not able to see my screen. Guys, you're not able to see a slide. Can anybody else also confirm? Is my screen visible? Able to see? I can see. You're able to see. Okay, Venkata, just check once. Probably leave and come back. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you. I got to know it's visible. Thank you. So coming back to the topic, primary key will never accept null values. If it is a student database, can there anything which is not any student which is not having the student number? No, they will have a unique roll number. So primary key will never accept the null values, whereas the unique key can accept null values. This is one big difference between both of them. Okay. So over here, I've got a create table sales. I have put some information here. I'm using the alter table. I can add the constraints, whatever constraints I want to add. And this is how you can give the unique constraints and the default value. This is how the default value is given. Okay. We have one more constraint, which is a check constraint. So check constraint will do what? Let's say I have a license making software, and this license making software should issue driving license to people only if their age is greater than 18 years. Otherwise, it should not issue the driving license. How can I do that? I can create a table sales. I can put ID, employee ID, age, address, salary. And can you tell me which column is having in this case a check constraint? Can you all have a look at it? I want all of you to observe. All of you observe. I'm waiting. Is that the age? Very good. Age is the constraint. Very well done. Age is the constraint which is actually telling me that this age should be greater than 18 years. So that, let's say if you try to put an age which is 12 years, 12 years is definitely less, isn't it? So it will throw you an error and it will not let you insert any record inside this. All right, is that clear? No doubts? Error will come. Correct, Dinesh, correct. Okay. I want all of you to do a quick activity. On this table that I have, I want you to add another constraint, and that constraint is on the salary, right? And that constraint that you have to put is salary should not be less than 0, or it should not be equal to 0, less than equal to 0. Can you all try and send this query? The salary on this table should have a check constraint so that it is not less than equal to 0. Very good. So the constraint that you will be checking is salary check. Salary should be greater than 0. Salary should not be less than 0. Yes, that is the constraint. So this is how different constraints can be applied. Okay. All right. Just before we take a break, let's quickly look at a primary key constraint also, something we've already discussed. So on the sales table, for example, I wanted to apply this primary key constraint. So I've given primary key ID. This is my constraint which I'm using. They are unique values. They cannot have null values. We discussed this. We are now going to talk about the foreign key constraint. So let's say this is my table 1, and let's say this is my table 2. These are my two tables which I have. The name of this table is sales, right? And the name of this table is orders. These are the two tables that I have got, sales and orders. The sales table have got some columns like ID, employee ID, age, address. The orders table has some columns like order ID, customer ID, order date, quantity, price. So these are some columns in this particular table. What are columns? Something which are vertical. These are some other columns. And we discussed before we took break, we discussed there is some constraint called as primary key. Primary key is a unique key, right? So see, this is my table sales. This is my table orders. In this table, I have got this ID, employee ID, age, address as the columns. In this, I've got order ID, OID, cost ID, O date, quantity, and price. When I talk about a foreign key, what does the word foreign mean? Something which doesn't belong to you. It's a foreign country, we say, isn't it? Something which doesn't belong to you. So this particular table has a primary key, which is ID. But this table ID, this particular column ID is going to be the primary key for this particular table, isn't it? Similarly, the order table will have its own primary key. But there will be one column, one field, which will be primary key in this table, but it is being referred in the second table. And when it goes and gets referred in the second table, it becomes the foreign key of that table, right? And how you can alter your tables to add primary key or foreign key, sorry, what you have to do, alter table, give the name of the table. Here it is orders, add the constraints. What is the constraint I wanted to add? Foreign key, cost ID, which is referring the sales ID, the ID column in my sales table, right? So this is how the foreign key constraints can be altered or you can add. So ID in one table, which is primary key being referred to the other table, that is a foreign key. I hope it is clear. No questions here. Okay. This assignment, you can take it as homework, in which you can create two tables, EMP and EMP salary, as per the below structure. So I've got EMP table and EMP salary table, right? It has got some constraints. All you have to do, just make the two tables, add these constraints to this table, populate the data in this. Okay, please kindly try this assignment on whichever. If you don't have, try online editor, right, if it is possible. Okay, can we go ahead? How many of us are ready? Okay, I'm going to show you a place where we are going to do some practice now, right? We have learned into so many queries. We have not practiced it. So do not worry at all. If you do not have the SQL server installed, I'm going to give you a link of online editor. And there is already a database and table created in this. So we can do a lot of practice here. The remaining part, I really want to do a lot of practice. Kindly open this link. For a minute, if you stop typing anything in the chat, so that everybody can get this access, please click on this. And I'm going to give you different situations that you have to write the queries, and let's practice. I'm waiting for everyone to open this link. If you have opened this link, write done in the chat. I'm sending it again. Please write done if you have opened this link. We will start from a very basic, this whole workshop, guys. Okay, many of us are done. Okay, guys, I understood. Good. This workshop was conducted to give you a basic idea of the SQL programming, right? What database is, what field is, what columns is, how you fire the queries. So it was a basic. Some of you are asking me questions from Cartesian and all, these advanced level topics we will not cover, because see, there are some 300 participants in this batch. So everybody is not at the same level. So this was at a basic introduction to the SQL, where still we have tried to cover as much as we could, right? So we will do some practice starting from a very basic query here. Observe this link. On this link, you can see there is a database and there are some tables: customer name, customers, categories, employees, order details, order, product, shippers, suppliers. Can you see? These are all your tables. When I show you these tables, on the right hand side, you can see the different records. How many records are there in the customer table? 91. Categories 8. Employees 10. Order details how many? 518. Orders 196. Can you see all these things? These are the different tables. And what I'm going to do now, select star from customers. So when I put a semicolon at the end and I click on this run SQL, what it is doing, let's observe. It is giving me all the records which are there in the customers table. This is the basic, very first basic query. Select star from customers. You can scroll down, it will give you all the records, right? So if you don't have SQL Server installed, that doesn't mean you cannot practice SQL at all. No. Now the assignment I'm going to give you, I want all of you to access the table products and fetch all the results of product. Okay, try this here. And once you have done this, you can send me the query. Let's quickly do a lot of practice. Quickly, guys, fasten your seat belts. Let's very quickly try as many queries as we can. I'll keep giving you scenarios and you keep writing queries. Okay. The question is, I want you to print everything from the products table. Get all the values from the products table. How would you do? What is the query for that? Can anybody write it in the chat? Okay, select star from product, select products from table name. Do one thing, write it over here. You all have a link, isn't it? Please write the query and run it. Write the query and run it and tell me if it is working or not. Khairudin, not the categories table, it's the products table. Okay, the query is wrong. We need the products table. Select star from products. Good, good, Sudarshan. Good. Suham, very good. Select star from product. So what is the query? Select star from and then run it. What it will do? It will give you all the information. Right? Great. Now my query, my situation that I'm going to ask you is going to change. I just want you to print the product name, only the product name from this table. This products table, only product name. Think, write the query, check if it is working, send me the answer in the chat. I want only product name to be displayed, nothing else. Select star, product ID is not correct. Think, guys, think what we will put. Very well done. I'm really proud of you guys. Good job, guys. In a very short duration, just we met for 2 days, 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours, and you've been able to write good queries. Good. So that's the whole idea. See, at least an initial start you have with you. Good job. Select product ID from products. Or if you wanted product name, go for it. Product name from products. This is the syntax. Let me send the answer in the chat. Please write it down. This is how you can get the specific results. Okay, now what I wanted you to do, something different. Be very careful. I'm going to change the requirement now. Be with me for next 30 minutes. We are going to really smash SQL. We're going to be very, very comfortable with at least the query writing part, basic query writing. Now my question is, I want you to print product name, supplier ID, category ID, 3 of them. Sure, Krutik, we will definitely pass this on to the team. We can have another webinars very soon. Glad you guys are speaking your heart to me. Good, good. Okay, brilliant. So let's quickly write this query. I want you to print product name, supplier ID, category ID. Khalid, very good. Abhishek, good job. Product name, supplier ID, category ID. Just don't write the query in the chat. Run also and see. See or notice what is the output. Yes, Vijay, I will definitely write the query. Just waiting for everybody to finish it. Vijay, I will write and show you definitely. I'm running the queries that you guys are sharing. Some of the queries are incorrect. Guys, run the query and say share it, please. Vidya, try one more time. I ran your query. It was giving me an error. I'm just quickly checking what you are sending. Muthu Lakshmi, even this is not correct. You know what? When you are writing the query, the column name should be exactly same. That is one very common mistake I think we are doing. Please don't do that mistake. So if it is product name, dear, it will be product name only. Okay. So your query will be select product name, comma, supplier ID from products. This is the query. Okay. Is that clear? I have written this query for you. Product name, supplier ID. These two things. Okay. Can we go ahead now? Are we ready? Yes. Okay. What I want you to do is from this table, I want you to delete the records. Delete all the records. Delete all. The entire records. Let's damage this products table. Delete table products. Okay. Delete star from products. Truncate table. Delete table. So what I did over here, look at my query, please. I have written down delete from products. No, I don't want to drop the table, Suresh, Mohana, Bhuvanesh. I don't want to drop the table. I want to just remove the, if you drop means it will just take off the table. I just want to remove the contents from the table. Okay. So delete from products. Right. So when I do delete from products, see what it did. It says you have made changes to the database. Some rows are affected. You have deleted the products. See how easily you can practice on the internet directly. And after this query, if I do select star from products and I just run this SQL query, you can see that it is not going to be happy about it. Right? Now do one more thing. If you have damaged this table, just do one thing. You can just click on restore. Restore will restore. It will bring it back. Okay, that is what you can always do. Restore, bring it back. Now what I want you to do next is I want you to delete only one specific record. Please don't delete everything. Just do only one specific record. Do not delete everything. Take any one column, row and delete. Okay, ma'am, let me look at the questions meanwhile. Ma'am, what is the difference between delete and truncate? See, SQL delete and SQL truncate are different. Delete will delete rows one at a time. Truncate will remove all the rows in the table. So you could have used truncate also. This is also correct. Okay, what is the next question? Truncate and drop. Difference in SQL. Truncate and drop are different. Drop command is used to remove the entire table definition with the content. Truncate will only delete the rows. It will not throw the data table out. Okay, these are the two differences. What else? Any other questions? Great, good job, Krutik. Delete from products where product ID is 1. Great. Delete from products. Let's try this query where product underscore ID is 1. Can I run this? Is this going to run or is it going to give me an error? Error. What is wrong with this query, guys? Give me a right query. How can I get a right query? Make sure the column name you're using correctly. Let me see who can answer this first. All I want you to do is give me the correct query to delete a particular record. There is spelling mistakes in this query. Okay, what else? Product spelling is wrong. Okay, can you all try this program? Try this query, everyone. All I want you to do, wherever the product ID is 1, it should delete it. Let's see what exactly is the column name. So what I'll do, write my select query again. Okay, so what is the product ID? It is product ID, not product underscore ID. So as I said, please use the column. Yes, Ravi, we deleted it, but we have restored it. No? After that, we restored it. We have restored it, so it should work. Try, everyone try. I wanted to delete only a specific record, not the entire record. Try, everyone try, make sure the name of the table is correct, make sure everything is correct. So this is the query, delete from products. You can even keep it lowercase only, products. Delete from products where product ID is 1. Delete from products where product ID is 1. So when I run this SQL, you can see you have made changes to the database. So wherever the product ID is 1, it will delete it. Let me send you all this query in the chat so that you can refer to it. Very good, Shubhada. That is the answer. All right. Any questions? All good? Okay. Let us go to the table shippers. And if I go to the table shippers, there is a phone number here, right? And a shipper's name and shipper's ID. I want you to insert a record in this table. The name of the shipper is DHL. DHL is the shipper name. Phone number, you can take it as 503. Everybody please try this, 555-9921-0821. This record should be inserted into this table. Please try this at your end first before sending the answer. Please try. Okay, good. In a very short span, I've got some answers. Good. Insert into the shipper's values, DHL and the values. Okay. Good, good, good. Everybody try this. Yes, most of the queries you're sharing is correct. Good job. So what I wanted is add some records here. What is the name of that column? What is the name of the table? Give exactly the same name. The name of the table is shippers, not shipper. Most of you are giving shipper, so that will give an error. Insert into shippers values, and what values you are trying to put. Put them in double quotes. Okay, if it's a what do you call, if it is a column which definitely needs double quotes, please put them in the double quotes. Give the correct query, guys. Give the correct queries. Shri Vaishnavi, did you try this first and then you are sending it? I hope everybody is trying and sending it. No, Shri Vaishnavi, this is wrong. Please make sure you run the query. Don't just write it in the chat. Kindly run this in the editor I've given you. And then give the value, give the answer. I'm not getting the correct answer. Raman Reddy, it's not correct. No. Anybody who has run this query in the editor and it's working fine, only then share the query. Please don't just write in the chat. That way we will not be able to learn properly. Insert into shipper table where shipper name is DHL. Dharani, this is wrong. Not correct. Not correct. I want someone to give me the right query. Okay, now you are asking me to share the link, online editor link. Okay, I'm going to share it now. This is the online. Anybody in this group has written the query in the editor and it worked well? Yes, please write yes. If this insert query worked. Okay, Raju Ponala, can you send me the query then? Let's run the query and see. So make sure it's running. Make sure your queries are running in the editor before you are sending, so that we are confirmed that we are writing the correct query. Okay, look at the answer. Insert into shippers. Some of you are making a mistake. You're calling this table as shipper. See, the table name has to be exactly same. Some of you made a mistake. You forgot into. No, it should be insert into, and then you have to give the table name. Values is mandatory. Some of you are giving value. No, that will not work. What did that table have? It had a number, the name, and the ID and the phone number, isn't it? We have to give exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. So when I say run SQL, okay, I'm getting an error because I just deleted it. I inserted it. So I cannot insert the same record again, isn't it? That is the reason I was about to run. This is again a good learning. See, I already added something with primary key 5. I'm going to run it again. What is the constraint I am getting? It cannot execute because 5 number cannot come 2 times. This is how it gives you an error. Okay. Good job. Good everyone. Now the next thing what I want you to do, I wanted you to insert 5 records into the shipper values, shipper table. Can we quickly do this? Okay, Logeshwar, I think this will help you. 6 values into the name column in table. Do one thing, add 6 values in this column, in this particular column in the table that we have. Good job. I'm getting some queries now, answers. Insert into shipper values 504 DHL 403. So all you have to do is, the question was, we just need to insert more values into this table. You can just give some 4 to 5 queries. Make sure you will get an error if you don't change this number. This unique constraint, the whole idea is to tell you that unique constraint should not be changed. So it will be 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, like this. So now when I run this SQL, I think some semicolon is missing. So this is the exact query, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just give some values and it should run. Right? Multiple values we have to insert. Okay, let's go to another table here. The name of the table is select. Let me go to employees. Let's go to employees table now. Okay, let's quickly look at the employees table and put some clause. We did not practice clauses, so let's practice the clauses. So what I want you to do, look at this clause, this particular table. Select star from employees. This table should only give you records of employees whose employee ID is greater than 5. That's all. There are 10 employees in total. You can see there are 10 employees. Only greater than 5, ID greater than 5 should come. The remaining will not come. Okay, can we all try this? Musham, if you want to change the column header, you can use alter. Okay, all right. I hope everybody understood this question. We need to select only those employees whose ID is greater than 5. I'm waiting for all of you to try this once. All right, so what is the answer? I wanted to get only the employees whose ID is greater than 5, right? I did not want anything else, only 5. So once you have written this query, put it in the editor window and run and see, is it working fine? If it is working, share. So this is the answer. We wanted select star from employees. What is the table name? Employees. So I will say select star from employees where employee ID is greater than 5. The employee ID should be greater than 5. So look at the records. What is the answer am I getting? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, this is the answer. Can we all try? Let me send you all the answers in the chat. Okay, who all are excited for the next couple of queries? Are you ready? Are we all ready for the next query? Okay, the next one is going to get little tricky, but not for you because you know the like clause, isn't it? So like clause in between, whatever clauses I taught you, you can use it. The situation here is, what we want to achieve here is, I have a customer name. Debolina, why table name in braces? You can get rid of braces also. Don't worry. This is just, you can get rid of it. That's confusing. Get rid of it. Okay. Select star from customers. So when I do select star from customers, can you see when I click on it, it gives me the SQL, the results. Now, what I want you to do, listen to the requirement very carefully. Over here, this word, this location, London comes multiple places. See? So I want you to give me only those records of the customers who are from London. People from Berlin, Australia, Mexico, India, Japan, Tokyo should not come. Only London. I need the customers only from London. Can we all quickly try this query? Rohit Singh, select star from customers. This is not the enough query. Okay, try. Everyone try. I can see most of you are using the like clause. Good job. Good job. So this is the query. Select star from customers. If this braces is confusing you, get rid of it. Don't worry. Select star from customers where city, this is how you use the like clause. Like London. So can you see? Only the location London has come. All right. I hope this is making sense. Clear? Let's go ahead. Now from this table, in this query only, I want you to make a change. The city should be London and only the postcode EC25NT should be picked up. So that means B Beverages customer name should come, contact name Victoria, only this record should come. So only this postal code, based on this postal code. Can we all try this query? It's getting a little bit complex, but let's try. Abu Mansoori, if you need two locations, you can use the logical operators and okay. I want you to give me the same query which I have written. I want you to add another clause so that only postcode EC25NT is allowed, no other. So Abu Mansoori, for this one, you might need that and clause, like you were asking. You can use and here. Very good, guys. Very good. I'm getting answers now very quickly. Good job. So I wanted only London and I only wanted the postal code EC25NT. Please have a look at this query that I have. Select star from customers. You are selecting from the customers where city is London and postal code is this. city is London, postal code is this. All right, everyone. I hope everybody is clear. Let me copy this and let me put it in the chat. Let me put it in the chat. Bingo. So you were able to execute, you were able to practice some good queries on this particular URL. Continue to practice on this URL, right? Now, we've got less than 10 minutes. I wanted to take up questions from sessions that we have covered today. Naveen, very good. That is the answer. So I wanted to take up the questions if there are any from these sessions, and then we will conclude the workshop. Okay. Any questions, guys, from the session? Any questions? SQL joins. Okay, so we did not do joins, but what is join? It's a statement majorly, which is used to combine two tables. So let's say you had a table A, which was order, table 2, which was customers. You have some common field between both of these tables, and you wanted to get information from the two tables, more than one table. So sometimes when you have to get information from more than one table, you can use a join. Okay. What is the way forward after this particular workshop? Yes, we will talk about it. Definitely. I'm going to guide you through. Ma'am, can you explain the scenario in which we can use the in clause in the SQL? Yes, in clause in SQL. Why not? Let's have an understanding of in. So the in operator basically allows you to specify multiple values in a where clause. I'll give you an example. Let's say I had a database of customers. Okay, I had a database of customers. And in that huge database that I have, what I wanted to do, I wanted to fetch the records. When I say in, what is the main benefit of in? I wanted to fire a query like select customer name from the table name, where column name, which is, let's say, customer name in, and then I can put another select statement. So in is used, in is an operator for multiple or conditions basically. Okay. All right. Any other question, guys? Exact difference between alter and update. Okay, alter and update in SQL are different. What is the main difference between? Alter command will perform the action on the structure level, overall structure of the table or database, not on the data. Update command will perform it on the data. So let's say if you had a table name had columns employee ID, employee name, and you wanted to call employee name as EMP name, or you wanted to do something with the structure of the data, you will use alter command. But every table has got what? Every table has got information, data. So that data, when you modify, you will use update. Okay, alter will always alter the structure. Drop will drop, totally it will drop. Okay. Joins, as we discussed, joins two tables, give you two information from multiple tables. Okay. Triggers and all will be not covering in this workshop. It will confuse everybody, and subqueries as well. Whatever we've covered, any questions from this? What do you understand by, ma'am, what is the understanding on default constraint? Okay, default constraint we discussed. Default constraint will basically, if you give a value, it will take that. Otherwise, whatever default value you have, it will take that default value. Okay, great. So guys, one very good important question which came up today was, what is the way forward? Ma'am, we have sat down with you for 4 hours. We have looked into basic concepts of database handling. But what is the way forward? That was a very good question. This workshop for 4 hours that we sat down, roughly 4 hours, this has given you a brief understanding of the SQL concepts. We discussed the different terminologies, the fields, the columns, the rows, the records, isn't it? The different queries that we can perform, select, insert, update. SQL is a topic which, even if I keep teaching you for 6 months, every day, 2 hours, I would still say there is loads of things to cover. This is such a topic. I mean, when I say we have met for 4 hours on SQL, we have just scratched the surface. Now, what is the way forward from here? Based on whatever learning you had with me over this 4 days, 4 hours, sorry, over the 2 days, I really recommend all of you to get a nice book on SQL, start some good websites like W3 Resource, tutorialspoint.com. These are some good websites where you can start from. Make sure you have a database up and running on your system. Even if you don't have, you can see you can use an online editor. The only problem with online editor is very restrictive. You cannot do, if you want to create 20 tables, it will not allow you. So for example, this online editor only allows us to do changes to customer, categories, employees, nothing else, isn't it? So it's always good to have your SQL server set up. I've explained you how you can set it up. Think of some scenarios and try executing. Do not be discouraged at all. If you're not able to finish the query, it's giving you an error, do not worry. Keep trying. Okay, so based on whatever information we've gathered, please practice. Okay, all right, time to conclude, guys. Thank you all for joining us. It was wonderful to have you all. Advanced levels, yes, they are all in pipeline. We will definitely meet up very, very soon again. And thank you everybody for sparing this 4 hours of your time. Wish you all the good luck, and I hope you've learned a lot from this certificate, from this course, and you will be able to apply these skills, right? Most important is apply these skills in whatever project you are working on, plus you will be able to enhance your concepts on your own, right? All right. Thank you, everyone.